While planting marigolds on an ordinary morning, I felt someone behind me and turned to find a grown man I once knew as a boy. What unfolded next stirred something I thought I'd buried long ago. I'm Linda, 60, and this is the story of how one unexpected visit awakened a part of me I thought was gone forever. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica, the storyteller on the Adult Women's Tales channel. Here, I'll share stories about love, conflicts, betrayal, and infidelity within American families. These stories offer a deep look into relationships and the challenges families face. Stay tuned and explore with me. If you love emotional stories and want to uncover the hidden secrets in families, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our videos. I'm Linda, residing in a serene town just outside Asheville, North Carolina. Since reaching 60, life has taken on a more leisurely rhythm, and I've learned to truly value this new pace. After years dedicated to education and nurturing two boys who are now parents themselves, my garden has transformed into my personal sanctuary. This is my sanctuary, a place to reflect, to inhale deeply, and recently, to reconnect with my emotions. That morning unfolded just like any other. The sun hung high in the sky, spilling warm rays of light through the dappled shadows of the maple trees that adorned my backyard. The gentle buzz of bees flitted through the lavender, while the aroma of rich, fresh soil filled the atmosphere. On my knees, donning my weathered straw hat and a pair of well-worn gloves, I carefully planted a vibrant row of marigolds along the border. Initially, his voice went unnoticed by me as I hummed to myself, immersed in the soothing rhythm of digging and patting the soil. An unexpected presence caught my attention from behind. Surprising, but not menacing. They will be stunning once they blossom. I spun around, my heart racing just a touch quicker than it ought to for someone in my stage of life. There he stood, Tom. Once upon a time, he was the paper boy of the neighborhood. A few years back, when his voice was still in that awkward phase, pedaling around on a red bicycle with one pedal just a bit askew. Yet, at this moment, he had outgrown his boyhood. He was a man in his early 30s, with broad shoulders and a sun-kissed tan that suggested a life spent outdoors. He exuded a gentle confidence that was surprising for someone so young. "Tom, it feels like ages since we last crossed paths," I remarked, dusting off my knees as I rose to my feet. He flashed a smile. "I was just stopping by to see my mom, who lives nearby. I decided to go for a stroll, and lo and behold, there you were." I chuckled, feeling an unexpected urge to smooth my hair and adjust the hem of my gardening shirt. "You caught me off guard, but it's great to see you." We paused for a moment, absorbing every detail of one another, not in a romantic sense, not just yet, but in that profoundly human manner of acknowledging someone from your past who has transformed into something entirely new. He generously offered his assistance with the final few plants, and I gladly accepted. He picked up a small trowel from the gardening bag and knelt down next to me. We toiled in quietude, sharing snippets of our lives from time to time. We talked about his work as a landscape designer, while I shared stories about my grandkids and expressed my love for this beautiful garden. As he passed me the marigold plant, our hands lightly touched. It was fleeting and pure, yet it sent an unexpected thrill coursing through me. I glanced up, and our eyes connected, neither intense nor burdensome. Genuine, with a hint of curiosity. "Have you ever felt a sense of loneliness in this place?" he inquired gently. I swallowed, acutely conscious of the silence enveloping us. And the birds fell silent, and even the wind appeared to hold its breath. At times I spoke honestly, yet I always discovered methods to bridge the silence. He nodded as if he grasped a profound meaning beyond the mere words. After completing the planting, he wiped his hands on his jeans and remarked, "I'd love to stop by again, if that's all right. Perhaps I could bring along some of my own seeds?" A smile crept across my face as a long-buried feeling began to awaken within me, something I hadn't experienced in years. "I would appreciate that, Tom. I absolutely would." He strolled down the garden path, sunlight glinting off the contours of his shoulders as he glanced back for one last wave. As I stood amidst my marigolds and lavender, I couldn't help but ponder why my heart still fluttered as it did in my 20s. Perhaps it was just a fleeting thought. Perhaps it was simply a pleasant visit. Yet a feeling stirred within me, suggesting that this was the start of an unforeseen journey, one that perhaps, just perhaps, I truly needed. The days dragged on, each one feeling longer than the last, as anticipation lingered just beneath the surface, masked by a facade of indifference. I reassured myself that I hadn't anticipated his return. Ultimately, it's something people often express. "I'll swing by," or "we should reconnect soon." Often their intentions are not genuine, yet a part of me wished he would. It was a Thursday afternoon when our paths crossed once more. I was pruning the rose bushes by the fence, donning my trusty old gloves while making a conscious effort to avoid glancing down the road every few hours. I heard footsteps, confident and unhurried, and turned just as Tom nudged the gate open with his elbow, cradling a small tray of seedlings in both hands. "I've got the seeds I promised," he said with a grin. A warmth blossomed in my chest, inspiring me to stand a bit taller. "You have a knack for bringing plants, don't you?" "It's an occupational hazard," he remarked, placing the tray on the table by the back porch. "Discover the exquisite flavor of heirloom tomatoes. I thought you might have room for them." For the next hour, we collaborated closely, discussing soil varieties, sun exposure, and the tenacity of those pesky squirrels. The discussion extended beyond just gardening. It floated away. He shared stories of a past relationship with a woman who simply couldn't grasp his appreciation for the serene and subtle moments in life. I shared with him the cherished memories of Saturdays spent dancing in the living room with my late husband, just the two of us, as the smooth sounds of an old jazz record filled the air. The age gap seemed to vanish. It was as if two individuals were engaged in a conversation, fully understanding one another. At a certain moment, we took a break for some refreshing lemonade. I filled a glass pitcher and offered him a tall, chilled glass, beads of condensation glistening on the surface. We settled onto the bench nestled under the grand oak tree. Sunlight danced through the air, creating a tapestry of golden hues. The warmth emanated from him, not merely in a physical sense, but in the genuine way he absorbed every word I spoke. After a lengthy silence, he looked my way, his voice now barely above a whisper. "Back in my younger days, I always believed you were the epitome of grace in our neighborhood. There was a serene quality to your presence. It lightened the weight of the world. I found myself at a loss for words in response to that. It was the sort of thing rarely encountered, especially at my age, and certainly not from a man of his caliber." I gazed at my hands, observing the delicate lines that mapped my knuckles, the stubborn specks of dirt that lingered on the surface. "Grace seems like a cherished memory from a younger chapter of my life," I murmured gently. "No," he replied, placing his glass on the table. "It remains present, perhaps even greater at this moment." His words enveloped me like a gentle embrace, soothing and personal. A wave of intensity washed over me, tightening my chest, not from discomfort, but from a profound sensation beneath the surface, perhaps a touch of recognition or yearning, an emotion I had long denied myself. As the sun dipped lower and the shadows elongated across the yard, he rose and assisted me in getting up from the bench. His hand brushed against mine, lingering for a heartbeat longer than needed. It lacked boldness. It was deliberate and unhurried. It simply was. He mentioned that he would swing by next week. "I hope you do," I said, a smile breaking through the whirlwind of feelings within me. Once he departed, I found myself alone in the serene garden, the fragrance of tomato leaves lingering on my fingertips, and the resonance of his voice still playing in my mind. Something was unfolding here, gradually and consistently, reminiscent of a flower blooming after a prolonged winter. For the first time in years, I experienced a sense of connection. I felt acknowledged. The next week arrived with a shift in the atmosphere, warmer and more oppressive, the sort of early summer warmth that causes the hydrangea petals to sag by midday. Each morning, I dedicated my time to nurturing the garden while the sun was still low in the sky, all the while glancing at the gate despite my resolve to resist the urge. He made his return on Friday, but this time it was later in the day. As I stepped inside to wash away the grime, a gentle creak caught my attention. The gate was swinging open. I emerged onto the porch, towel in hand to dry my hands, and there he stood, Tom, clad in a navy shirt that hugged him slightly in the heat, clutching a small brown paper bag. He expressed his concern, wondering if he had missed the mark. I had something with me. He revealed a pair of charming small ceramic planters, each adorned with delicate hand-painted designs of tiny vines gracefully curling around their edges. I crafted these personally. I thought your lavender would appreciate them. I gazed at them, feeling a sense of emotion that caught me off guard. They had their flaws. There was a small chick on the side, yet they possessed a beauty and thoughtfulness that mirrored his own. They're exquisite, I remarked, gliding my fingers across the smooth glaze. It's been ages since someone created something just for me. This time, we planted together in silence. The silence spoke volumes, and in that quiet, there was a strange sense of solace. The serene silence that envelops individuals when they find comfort in each other's presence, no longer feeling the need to fill every moment with conversation. Once we finished, I extended an invitation for him to come inside. I hadn't anticipated this at all, not in a conscious way, at least. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a warm golden light flooded through the windows, casting a gentle glow that softened the entire room. As we entered the kitchen, a refreshing stillness enveloped the air. I filled 2 glasses with refreshing iced tea, and we settled into our seats at the wooden table, its surface marked by the memories of countless family dinners. His gaze swept across the room, lingering on the vintage framed photo of my husband and me resting on the mantel. "Are you feeling his absence?" he inquired softly. I kept my gaze steady. Each and every day, things have changed. It feels more like an extension of myself than a complete entity. He gave a slow nod. "I'm sure he would admire the life you've created." That resonated profoundly. My throat constricted, yet tears remained at bay. I leaned in, my hand gently resting over his on the table. It was a natural response, unpremeditated, yet it resonated perfectly. He remained close. The air between us crackled with an intensity I hadn't experienced in ages. His thumb glided over the back of my hand, slow and intentional. It was a moment free of urgency, devoid of pressure, simply filled with presence. "I don't want to make you uncomfortable," he said gently, his voice barely above a whisper. I firmly stated, "You're not," and I truly meant it. He rose, moved around the table, and softly lifted me to my feet. I gazed up at him, this man significantly younger than I, yet somehow so rooted, so receptive. We were inches apart, the distance fading away, allowing me to sense the warmth of his breath and the rhythmic pulse of his heart beneath his shirt. He leaned in, lingering a heartbeat away. When our lips finally touched, it was nothing like the scenes we see on screen. We searched slowly, each of us hesitant, as if we feared we had conjured the moment from thin air. As we separated, silence enveloped us. He didn't either. He locked eyes with me for a lingering moment, then softly pressed his forehead against mine. It was heartfelt, genuine. That night, we kept things simple and uneventful. He lingered for an additional hour. We shared stories, enjoyed laughter, and even swayed gently in the kitchen, as a psalm played on the radio. It was awkward, yet endearing, transporting me back to a time when I felt youthful and vibrant. As he departed, he pressed a gentle kiss to my cheek and vowed to return shortly. Once the door clicked shut, I found myself standing solitary in the stillness of the home. This time, the silence carried a distinct weight. It was far from empty. The potential was limitless. In the week that followed, I navigated my days with a subtle sense of excitement brewing beneath the surface. I baked even more. I put on lipstick once more, even if it was just for pulling weeds. I found myself grinning at the emptiness and my own image in the mirror. Although older, it appeared to have a certain softness. It felt as if I was recalling something I had long since overlooked. Tom returned on Sunday afternoon. This time, there are no plants. There are no gloves, bags, or tools available. There he stood, dressed in a casual button-down and jeans, his eyes radiating warmth as I opened the door. In that moment, it became clear just how effortless this was starting to feel. What began with dirt beneath our fingernails has now grown into something profoundly deeper. "I thought I'd whip up something special for you," he said, presenting a small basket of groceries. "Your generosity and warmth are like a comforting cup of tea." I thought it would be nice to reciprocate. We prepared a meal side by side, him skillfully chopping vegetables while I stirred the sauce, with soft music playing in the background. In the kitchen, we danced around one another as if it were second nature, a rhythm perfected over time. He shared with me the details of a new landscaping project he had embarked on, highlighting his suggestion to create a garden tailored for seniors who find it difficult to kneel. His voice carried a sense of thoughtfulness that filled me with pride to know him. After dinner, we enjoyed our meal on the back porch. The garden glowed beneath the evening sky, with marigolds vibrant and abundant, and tomatoes proudly rising in their stakes. The aroma of basil and honeysuckle wafted through the air, while a gentle breeze danced among the trees. We took our time with the conversation. Not every silence was filled. After we finished our meal, he reclined in his chair, gazing out at the yard as if it were the epitome of tranquility. "This caught me off guard," he remarked. "We, whatever this may be, I didn't either," I replied, meeting his gaze. "However, I'm pleased it occurred." He pivoted to meet my gaze completely, his expression sincere and unshielded. "I understand there's an age gap and I can see how it might appear. Yet, none of that has altered the way I feel when I'm by your side. You bring me a sense of stability, authenticity, and recognition." That word has surfaced once more, seen. It struck my chest, its weight more profound than ever. "For years, I believed that chapter of my life had closed," I remarked. "Desire, allure, and the thrill of recognition. I concealed it beneath the layers of routines and secure decisions. Then you stepped into my garden, and everything changed." He extended his hand toward mine across the table, enveloping it with a gentle touch. "Forget the rush and the pressure. It's all about building genuine relationships. I'm uncertain about where this path takes us," he remarked. "I'm eager to continue this journey with you no matter where it leads us." I took my time before responding. I allowed myself to embrace the gravity of his words, the authenticity they carried. Then I smiled, gentle and unwavering, much like the breeze dancing through the leaves. I would appreciate that as well. As twilight descended and the initial stars twinkled into view, we lingered on the porch, fingers intertwined, captivated by the fireflies ascending like tiny sparks from the ground. It lacked any sense of drama. It wasn't a fairy tale ending, yet it was genuine. For the first time in years, I felt a surge of movement, no longer a mere observer of life unfolding around me. I was fully immersed, vibrant, and thriving. Having someone by my side who fills the silence with warmth, opens up the possibilities of tomorrow, and makes this unexpected, delightful moment feel perfectly in place. That's it for today's story. If you found it moving, don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.